Welcome to Wealth Empowers with Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence. I'm Kevin Lawrence in studio with my dad, Dr. Gary Lawrence. We are a father and son team dedicated to helping you create your new financial future today. Dr. G and I believe there is a solution to your financial situation, and on the show, we talk about creating wealth with basic principles and practical application for today's world. You can find this show on iTunes, by the way, or follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or go direct to our website, wealthempowers.com. As you listen today, we hope you'll be entertained, educated, and encouraged. So glad you're riding along with us today. So friends, there are three key mindsets that keep you, me, most any of us, from taking that next step and moving closer to our dreams and goals. So here they are as follows. The first key mindset holding you back is lack. The second one is loss. The third is limitation. Lack is the focus on what I don't have. Loss is on the focus of what I used to have or what I had in the past and it's now gone. And then, of course, limitation, the things that are in my way or the things that are holding me back. So when you're focusing on those key mindsets, you're staying away from the success that is in front of you. And Dad, when a person has the mindset that is focused on lack, loss, and limitation, well, they're just going to continue to struggle with life in a big way. And we're here to reach out to them to help them shift that mindset.
Well, the unfortunate thing, Kevin, is the largest percentage of the human race are in bondage to their past lives.
Yes.
And if a person has been raised in an environment where lack was the word for the day, then they never expect anything more for themselves. And when it comes to loss, people go through a cycle of loss, and, well, people just get tired, and they say, well, I'm tired. I'm not going to try again.
I've been there. You've been there.
Absolutely. You know, your mother and I had a very successful counseling practice for 25 years. And when we retired, I was 59. It took me 6 weeks to uncover the fact that we'd already lost 65% of our portfolio in the stock crash. And it was like, oh, that was not supposed to happen.
Right.
You know, that's loss.
Absolutely.
And so we lived on what we had left for the next 5 years. And, well, our money ran out in 2009. We went through bankruptcy and foreclosure, and I was 65 at that time. And that's it was a hard time for your mother and I. But it was also a good time because that's when I was introduced to Renatus. And what is Renatus? Well, it's a Latin term for rebirth. And certainly your mother and I needed to be rebirthed financially. But Renatus is also the premier real estate investing education service in America. And when I saw the value that Renatus could bring to my life to restore your mother and I financially, I had no limitations. I had no money, but I knew I could do it. Okay?
There you go.
And I hear from people say, well, you know, I just don't have the time or the money to invest it in education that's going to change my life. Well, you're going to pay tuition one way or the other.
One way or the other, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I was a young 65-year-old, and I decided that I'm going to recreate myself and learn how to become a successful real estate investor. Mm-hmm. And the last 10 years has been a wonderful journey for your mother and I. And to help you and I convey to our audience what lack and limitations will do to them instead of for them, we have live in the studio a fantastic lady. Her name is Keel Jones. And she's probably somewhere in her late 30s, early 40s, and she's grinning right now. Say, oh, you're so good, Dr. G. But anyway, she's been a stay-at-home mom since the year 2000, and she and her children went through a terrible loss. Last August, they lost their husband and father. But before the passing of their father and husband, she had in her heart that she wanted to learn how to become a successful real estate investor. So I'm going to bring Keo on. Keo, it's such a joy to have you in the studio today.
Good morning, Dr. G and Kevin. Thanks for having me on.
Glad you're here, yeah.
And, you know, you've become one of the key players in our Scottsdale Renatus team. But just take a few minutes, Keo, and share with our audience where you were before the passing of your husband, and then what happened that you became acquainted with Renatus.
Well, my husband worked for a very large corporation, and he had a very good job, so I was a stay-at-home mom. And when he got sick and subsequently passed away from cancer, we lost our income, everything. We did have life insurance because it was a good company. And when we looked at the numbers on that, the life insurance would have lasted for less than 10 years if we just lived off of that. So that really wasn't an option. And we decided that real estate investing was the way that we wanted to go to make our money go to work. A good friend of mine, he introduced me to Renatus, took us to one of the meetings. We saw the Velocity Banking presentation, and that was such a powerful strategy that we knew that would, if that's the only thing that we knew, that we would be successful at this.
Well, let's slow down. What is Velocity Banking? Can you sum it up for our audience?
Velocity Banking is a strategy for using debt to pay off the bad debt and then use it to invest. And it's a little more complicated than what I could go into.
I know it is. I know.
Well, we have an 11-hour class on this one strategy, and the bottom line, I think, is we learn how to take current income without having to get 3, 4, 5 different jobs, and we're going to eliminate the debt we have to make us stronger to invest in real estate in the future. And when your financial base is strong, then it's easier to invest.
But you used the phrase, you learned how to use debt to eliminate bad debt. And I think what you meant to say was you learned how to use good debt to eliminate bad debt. What's the difference?
Well, bad debt, is just if you use credit cards for things that you really don't want to, and then you don't have the ability, given your financial situation, to invest in something that's going to make money for you. Right. So you pay off that debt, and then you use the available credit to actually buy something that will make money.
And so that's called an asset.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're buying assets to pay off liabilities is what we're doing. Yeah, right. Instead of buying more liabilities to create more liabilities.
Well, one of the key things, and Kevin, you might want to explain this, because we just interviewed a young lady several weeks ago. She and her husband bought a brand new house. They've lived in it for 3 years. They signed a 30-year mortgage, but they're going to be done by 30. By the time they're 30 years old.
Yeah, their hashtag is hashtag done by 30.
Right.
So they'll be debt free, and they'll be only needing his one income by the time they're 30.
And so they're 26 years old now. Yeah. They've lived in the house 3 years. So by the time they're 30, they will have eliminated that 30-year mortgage in 7 years.
Isn't that amazing? And this is just one financial strategy before you even get into real estate investing that Renatus provides.
Keel, men and women are listening to us now from all walks of life. Some are doing well financially. Many are not doing that well financially. Give your thoughts from your heart to theirs about Renatus. And I tell everybody it's the premier real estate investing education service in America. What do you think of the quality of the service that Renatus offers?
Well, the quality of the education is it's just phenomenal. We've been digging into the education, my partner, who's my son, and we've been going through it systematically on what works for us, what we're looking to, our investor profile. So we're matching that up with our education and kind of taking our classes. It's really good. But in addition to that, it's the community that goes with the Renatus that really is so important. Because in our community, we have mentors who are very successful real estate investors, and they help to train us, and they help us as we go through and learn and go through this process. We also personally have partnered with over 6 members of our community on different real estate deals.
And so with that partnership of the community, plus our 29 instructors teaching the very strategies and principles that we learn, you really have to work hard to be unsuccessful using the Renatus systems, no doubt. And Keo, let me ask you this, though, for our listeners. What was it about real estate? I mean, of all the things you could have done, and I understand you had made that decision to move to real estate prior to your husband passing, but at that time, with your husband having a good corporate job, you were looking forward saying, we want to get involved with real estate. Why this versus any other type of business out there?
When I was looking at it, even before Mark was sick, I was very interested in passive income and replacing his income. He wanted to retire early, and so we were kind of looking at a different strategy to do that. And we really thought if we took some fourplexes and we rented those out, we would have passive income. And that was kind of, we were going to buy 1 a year or maybe 2 a year. That was our plan.
Yeah. And that way you can own real estate, have the appreciation, get the tax deduction on the property itself, create some cash flow, and then you don't have to buy a business and deal with employees and inventory and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right, but one of the things that we didn't know that we've since learned with our Renatus education is that we needed to do that under an LLC. Because we didn't have an LLC, we were just going to do that personally, and we've learned all the advantages of that.
Wow, what a risk that you have avoided because of your education.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Wealth Empowers with Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence, and our special guest live in the studio is Keel Jones, who lives all the way east out in Apache Junction. Thank you for driving in to be with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to know more about the possibilities and probabilities of how you can change your financial future and really learn how, in a practical way, in a very simple, applicable way, create a new financial platform for yourself and your loved ones, I'm inviting you to be my personal guest at our business forum this week, right here in the Valley. It's held on Thursday night. It's from 7 till 8:30. What is a business forum? Well, it's a gathering of like-minded men and women just like yourself who said, you know what, I'm going to change my financial future. You're going to learn about real estate investing as it is today, not where it was 8, 9, 10 years ago. You're going to learn about Renatus, the education system that we offer. Why is it so effective? Why are so many lives being changed? There's no cost to you. And I tell all of our guests, leave your checkbook and your credit cards at home. You're not going to buy anything. We're not going to sell you anything. We're just going to get acquainted. Now, if you'd like to be my guest, you're going to have to give me a call, and I'll give you our number in a minute. But when you call, you'll get our voice message. So for your sake, leave a message for me with your name and phone number, and I will get back to you personally. Okay, here's our phone number. Write it down. It's 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645. Or, hey, visit Kevin and I at our website, wealthempowers.com. That's wealth, W-E-A-L-T-H, empowers, E-M-P-O-W-E-R-S, wealthempowers.com. So, Keel, now you've been part of our team, for about 6 months?
Yeah, that's about right.
So, half a year. Mm-hmm. And you're already involved in how many real estate transactions?
It was 13, but we just dropped one. It fell through, so we're in 12.
Okay. And, one of the first things I learned, Kevin and Keel, when I started my education with Renatus, and it has stuck with me, some of the best deals you ever do are the ones you walk away from. Would you agree with that, Keel?
Yeah. Because it makes a big difference in if you're going to buy something and buy it right or not. And sometimes you have to walk away from it.
Well, that's the bottom line. You learn how to make a profit when you make the purchase.
Right.
Right. And so many people, they say, well, I'm going to try it by myself. As a matter of fact, we just had a couple join our team just 2 weeks ago, enrolled in the education, contacted me 5 years ago, came to our business forum, saw the education, but he decided he could do it by himself. Mm-hmm. And so he tried to do it by himself, and, well, he lost quite a bit of investment trying to do it by himself.
Yeah.
We say this, Keel, maybe you can give some insight. Real estate investing is a team sport. What say you?
It is a team sport, and if you have people that are like-minded and they have education, they have experience, and they can advise you, we talk over deals a lot, we mastermind, and that just helps so much when you're going through something. It just gives you the assurance that, yes, this deal is good because everybody else agrees that it's a good one, or it's not, and you should go ahead and walk away, and that's just comforting.
Have you walked away from some deals in the short time you've been involved?
We walked away from about 5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah. And I think that's really where the empowerment comes from. We see a lot of this fix and flip on TV and the cable shows and, Flip Atlanta and Love and Lost and all the crazy stuff.
Love and Lost.
Or whatever they title these shows, and it's almost like, these reality shows, but that's not reality. You're not going to earn $80,000 by flipping a house in 30 minutes. That's just not real. There's challenges that come with real estate investing. But for us as individuals to be empowered at a high level to decide, is that a deal I want in my portfolio? Is that a deal I want to step into? What is my tax liability on a deal if I earn profit? And then where do I put that money in my company? And so all of those types of business strategies around real estate investing is something that Renatus empowers us with because of the education.
Now, you said your business partner with Renatus is your son, Zach.
Yes.
Is he your youngest child?
No, he would be my third child.
He'd be your third child, but he's 21 years old.
21.
How is Zach responding to the Renatus opportunity, the investing?
He loves it. You know, we went to the Nationals conference, and when we were there, it just lit him on fire. He's come back. He's just so excited, and he's going through the steps. He's got everything written down, and he's following all of his steps and just doing everything he needs to do to just be successful.
Well, he shared at one of our training sessions last week that after the passing of his father, all he did was sleep. And I'm sure there was a lot of sadness and despair and depression, and you two have been through a hard time. Would you say the overall environment of the Renatus community locally has made a real positive impact on that, kind of helped lift you guys out of that?
It really has. You know, when you go through something like that that's so heartbreaking, you do need to have uplifting people that you're surrounded by, people that are focused on things that they're doing that will positively impact your life. And we have a good support network through our church, but this is like another family that we have.
Right.
And it's been just for us not just beneficial financially, but just to have the emotional support that we have through all of our friends in Renatus. It's really wonderful.
And I want to go on record here, Kevin. Not only have you received emotional support, but you have given emotional support to the rest of us.
Thanks.
Okay? This is not just a one-way street. I mean, you've been a tremendous blessing to Kevin and I, Keel.
Wow.
Well, yeah, no doubt. I mean, what you and Zach have brought with your energy and your willingness to give to the community, because Renatus, we're a nationwide company, by the way, for those who are just joining us.
How many cities are we in now? About
we're about 25
to
30
26
cities. Yeah.
nationwide.
And our CEO, Bob Snyder, who founded Renatus and put the entire system together, he leads from a position of a servant heart, servant leadership. How do you give at the maximum level to bring the most value to people and to the communities? And he sets that as the example for all of us. And, Keo, you and your son, Zach, definitely model that into the community, being that servant leader. And it's a blessing to have you here.
Well, thank you. And we're really blessed to be with Renatus. I really don't know where we would be. I think, we probably would have made some really major mistakes without it. But we're very comfortable with where we are and where our future is going in investing.
I do. I was when you were telling me about how you thought about putting the real estate in your personal name, I thought of a conversation I had with a friend of mine. I just got started with Renatus, and he and his wife owned a couple rentals. And he was asking me, so how's it going? I do pretty good. And he said, how much of the work do you do on your flips? And I said, none. He said, why? And I said, because I could pay someone else to do it. And he said, yeah, but that's more of your profit you could keep. I said, yeah, but that's more of my time I can't get back. So I understand the power of leveraging time. Plus, I'm not allowed to have power tools, so I'll hurt someone. So I stay away from that. And he told me he held both of his rentals in his personal name.
Oh, my.
And I thought, wow, that's pretty risky to do. Have you ever considered having your own company or starting an LLC to protect that? And no one really talked to him about it. And those are the pitfalls that if you don't have the right information, you could really hurt yourself as an investor.
Yeah, what you don't know will really hurt you.
No doubt. Yeah.
And but I tell folks all the time that what you do know can not only help you, but will help other people. One of the outstanding features of the Renatus education system is that once we're enrolled, you have lifetime access. How valuable is that to you, Keel?
To me, that's really valuable because the rules change. Tax rules, they change every year. And so, the classes are updated for that. So we can always go back. And also if there's a class that we haven't taken because it hasn't applied to our strategy, but all of a sudden it's going to, then we can go back and we can learn that class.
I'm glad you brought that up because as we speak right now, one of our team members and myself, we're developing 4 lots out in East Mesa. And I've never done raw land development. So guess what? I just go to my education, pulled up the raw land development class, and start studying. And I learned very valuable truth that saved me from making some serious mistakes. What you don't know can really hurt you.
Well, and people say that education is expensive, but try ignorance. Ignorance can be very expensive if you don't know what you're doing. So you want to get properly educated. You want to get around the right group of people who have the same idea, the same mindset as you do, so you can be successful.
And I think you just recently had your first cash flow party, didn't you?
We did. We had our first cash flow party almost 2 weeks ago. We're going to have another one on Wednesday evening. And that's been a great learning experience for us.
And that's what it's all about. Not just making money, but creating cash flow that's consistent, so you don't have to go out and work for the other man.
Right. It's a different mindset, and you really have to retrain your brain, because we're not taught any of that. We're taught to go to work for someone else for 40 years and then retire on 40% of what we earned. And that doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Wealth Empowers program with Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence. And we are a father and son team dedicated to helping you learn how to create a new financial future now. Hey, we're hosting an exciting investor business forum this week, and I would love for you to be my guest. Kevin, I love meeting our listeners, don't you?
It is a highlight of our evening. Yeah. They get to meet us. We meet them. It's a great connection.
So if you'd like to be our guest, you're going to have to call me, and I'll give you our phone number in a minute. But I want you to know when you call, you will get our voice message. So for your sake, leave a message for me with your name and your phone number, and so I can get back to you personally. Okay, write down our phone number. Here it is. It's 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645. Or, hey, visit us at our website, Wealth Empowers. That's Wealth, W-E-A-L-T-H, Empowers, E-M-P-O-W-E-R-S, wealthempowers.com. Keel Jones is our special guest. Keel, there are people saying, well, what is this Renatus? And I've invited them twice today to be my guest. What would you say from your heart to their heart about calling me? Why should they call me?
They should call you if they want to change their lives and their financial future. It makes such a big difference when you decide that you want to do something different in your life and you don't want to be dependent on Social Security for retirement, which is not enough.
No.
So if you want to do that, then you need to call and you need to get the education so you can learn how to do something and the community that goes with it.
Well, now, when you came to your first investor business forum,
Yes.
How were you treated? What was your experience?
That was a very busy one. We came to the regionals, and it was very busy.
That's right.
But we were greeted very nicely, and we were told,
Okay.
it was a very large facility, so they directed us along the way where to go, and we went in and we watched the presentation of Velocity Banking. And actually, we left that night. We never spoke to anybody that night, but we'd already made up our mind. We knew that this is where we needed to be.
You were looking.
Yes.
You were ready. You made a decision, and you acted on it.
Right.
That's fantastic. Kevin, I like her.
Oh,
I like her mindset.
well, Keo is a wonderful person, so that's why she's here today, no doubt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you came to the investor business
I
forum?
do.
What was
I
that like
remember
for
it.
you?
Well, the first time I went, I don't have a lot of time to go into my story,
know.
but I tell you, first time I went, it's because I was just supporting you because I said you shouldn't do this.
I know it.
Remember my whole skeptical story? I'm like, Dad, don't do it. It's a scam. Stay away from it. So
Right.
the first time I went was because I love my dad and I was going to support you in your choice. And so here I am now on the other end years later. So obviously it's not a scam.
Right.
And you've been successful. I'm being successful. Keo, you and Zach are having success. But that comes with the mindset of I will be successful and I will use the tools that are given to me.
I'm so glad you finally came to your senses.
Dad, you were right. There, we recorded it. Now everyone heard it. We're right. You're right. I was wrong.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you are in life, that's not, the question is not where did you come from? The question is where are you headed? And no matter what your problem is, you've got your choice of 1 or 4 responses. You can resist your problem. You can resent your problem. You can rage about your problem. Or I suggest you learn how to respond to the positive purpose of your problems. And why is that? Because problems are the frames that God's going to use to build and develop areas in your life that you need help with. Change, when left to chance, will give birth to more conflict. And if you don't change, things will never change. And I'll guarantee you this, the only thing that won't change is the fact that things will change. So how are you going to do that? It's real simple. Stop being a circumstantial creator and become an intentional creator. Start living life on purpose. Did you know success has never been a destination? Success is really nothing more than a journey. So I'm asking you this. Are you really enjoying the journey that you're taking? Are you aware of the fact that all that's given to you, all that's given to anyone else has been given to you? Now listen carefully. Success has never been final, but failure has never been fatal. Nobody's ever died from failing. An investment in knowledge will pay you the best return on your investment. You are full of the power of success. Why do I say that with such strong conviction? Because I want you to believe in yourself. You can succeed. I'm Dr. G.
It's been said, the best way to predict your future is to create it. No matter your circumstances, there is a solution to your situation. Dr. G and Kevin invite you to explore the possibilities of creating a new financial platform that you control and no longer allow yourself to be controlled by the circumstances of your life. Visit them at wealthempowers.com. That's WEALTHEMPOWERS.com. Come and meet Dr. G and Kevin at the Investor Business Forum. Oh, one last thought. Isn't it time for you to stop making a living and start making a life? Call Dr. G and Kevin at 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645.